All right. So yeah, got in US 30 buys. This would be a good time to give you guys the run of what I'm looking for when I'm looking at trades, lot sizes, and all that great stuff. So, daggone it, still isn't doing what I want it to do. All right, there we go. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Sorry, we just moved into the house, so I'm having to set up all of my mics and everything, and it's not set up correctly. So I'm just kind of having to wing it, so to speak. But yeah, so if you got a pen and paper, write it down. I start out my trades in the morning. If I'm trading going into the London or New York session, I typically run $75 to $80 per pip. And currently trading a 50,000 plus account with my son. So this is the father-son account that we've been trading. If I enter trades after I either close out a winning trade and or I enter trades later in the evening, I always enter at a 0.2, so $20 per pip, just because I find the volume's not there and I'm looking for big pushes. So I'm looking for a big push within the market, like we had here on this one. So going to the actual markup from today, and we're going to cover a few things on this call, but most importantly, why we took the trades we had this morning. And I'm an idiot because guess what I did? I set a take profit. And if you guys know me, I never set take profits when I go to sleep because you never know how far it's going to push. Obviously, I got to take profit set here in case I just missed something while going to the bathroom, putting the kids to bed, whatever. But 9 times out of 10, I don't have a take profit because I know that we get massive pushes. So if you were trying to catch this move, what we were looking for on this 30-minute here was connect the dots. So if you're connecting the dots, boom, you had your sell limit. Sell stop somewhere in this zone. Or if you're using the EA, you can do a trend line break and you can see it just power drive through it. So your entry would have been right in this area here. And you had plenty of time to get out. You had a total of 9 hours to get out with around 210 pips. So solid run. If you're utilizing just trend line breaks on structure off the swing low there, you would have found your structure there at that point because none of this would have happened. You would have had your swing high, so that's all you'd had to go off of. And obviously, you'd have been in a little bit of drawdown. So I enter on candle open. So you'd experience a drawdown of about 35 pips before it slammed down. Now, if you're trading, I know we got some 1 minute US 30 people on the phone, on the Zoom. So on the 1 minute, you actually got in pretty tight on these swing lows, as you can see there. So I'll zoom in so you guys can see it. So utilizing the swing lows here and connecting the dots right there. It was almost, get right back on that dot. It was almost perfect trade. Get up here to the top. Or I already go past it. There it is right there. That's the alpha trend on the 30. So you can see right there, it went up. We got swing high. So you find your structure, boom, there's structure, swing high. It would have put you in about right in this area here. And you'd have caught that move down on the 1 minute, which would have been 333 pips. So 1 minute murdered this trade. So yeah, that was the trade setup for US 30, was just connecting the dots. So, if you entered on, do this real quick. Oh, these out on the bottom, so let me clear these lines. So if you got your connect the dot, boom, there's an entry there. And then you've got your swing low over here. And look, it almost lines up perfect with those, which shows you that's a perfect zone for the break. So a really, really easy break on this trade. But then the buy, I can explain that real quick. So the buy was fun. Let's see. So right here, you've got the zone mapped out on the 30-minute with, this little line that I came up with here. Show you how I got there. Sorry, who my kids screaming in the background. They're having some fun right now. Actually, I did it on the 4 hour, I believe. Yeah. No, sorry. All right. So what I was looking for was right here in this area when we threw up that nice bull flag and then shot up. I knew that was going to be a zone where we could possibly bounce. So that's what that little line right there is, the horizontal aqua line. And then this box here was just filling, this candle here with that wick to the top of that candle to give me a good zone to where when I got this swing low, I said, if we can get a push up into this box and go out, I make the entry. And you can see I got pretty dang tight on that. And then knowing that this right here can come down and hit. And how I'm saying it. So Josh, I would rather people not try to summarize what's been going on and listen to me. When this is done, it's recorded, so you can go back and watch. So let's try to keep everyone focused so they're not having to explain something to you and you can just go back and watch. So as we came up and broke through this, I knew that this aqua line was going to be, if I came back down to this area and broke this box, we're going straight into sells. This way, when the 30-minute candle opened, we opened up obviously on top of the horizontal line and we're pushing up. So I've got my TP up here. It's sitting right, in that 35, let's see right there, 35,223 zone, which obviously is a solid zone for me. You've got the 50 moving average there. And then I've got this zone here. So if I start getting into this 35,204, I will more than likely, depending on what my night looks like, if I'm planning on going to bed, then I'm going to bed and I'll just set my TP there. If I'm going to step, I'll watch it because it could get back into this area and give us a nice wick, or it could just slam back down. So this zone here will be one that I watch. And keep in mind, this is looking at on the 30. I do have protection. So I've got protection right there at just $46 on top of the trade. I haven't closed out partials. I haven't done anything yet. Today was a good day. We had almost a $3,000 run this morning in trades. So at this point, I'm not trying to say, okay, I want to kill this trade because obviously it's almost $1,000. I'm looking at it more as we've already made $3,000 today. I'm not trying to be greedy. At this point, everything else that's made at this point forward is going to be free money for the day. Chris asked a good question. Where would my stop loss typically be? And my stop loss would typically be right here. So right there would be my stop loss for that trade that I entered, which would be 34 pips. And currently, if we measure that out, I'm already at my, 1-to-1 RR. So not bad at all on that trade. Super happy with it, but I would do it at that swing low marker here. Brad says, are you worried about the divergence in the 1 hour? Not one bit, because like I said, I'm entering this trade strictly on what I see on the 30-minute. If I go look at the 1 hour, we do see divergence, but if I was trading the 1 hour, then I more than likely would probably still be in sells from this wick that we had here and coming up on that hour like that. So I'd probably still be holding my sells here. But since I wasn't in sells and I'm trading on the 30, I'm looking at buys back to this zone. So the way that I trade, and some of you guys may be new to watching me or taking part of this because I sent this one out to everyone on Telegram, as well as the new Discord that we got going, is I look for opportunity. So I react to the trades. I react to price itself. So if I was looking for, say, sells, I would ask myself, why am I not in a sell right now? So if you're looking for sells, then your sells were up here. And I took those sells and killed my profit right in this zone. So the other opportunity that I saw was where price is going to buy up. Whether or not it buys up, currently right now, 40 something pips, cool. Or if it hits my TP and goes 129 pips, cool. To me, at this point, it's about catching the pips on the chart that in return turn into money. I just realized my video wasn't showing. There we go. Now y'all actually feel like you're here with me. But I look at opportunity that way because, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the charts, I'm preparing for some of my educational classes that I'm doing. And it was like, oh, here's an opportunity for me to make maybe a couple $100. And now it's turned into almost 1,000. So even when I have days like $3,000 days, $10,000 days, I've posted on Instagram, my $86,000 day. We've had $110,000 day. Out of all of those, my goal is still only $500. So when I enter a trade, even if it's at $80 per pip and I catch 10 pips and I'm at $800 for the trade, I'm still completely happy with that. My goal is still $500 a day, because at $500 a day, that's going to give me $10,000 a month. And $10,000 a month for everything else that I have going on in my life and all the fun stuff that I'm doing, it's like it's free money. So again, that's my goal. So the question came across. Let me see what Nicholas says. He says, why will it not go higher? I have my TP over 100 pips. So it may go higher, but I also know that when you've got a big candle like this right here, you've got a zone. So technically, if we're mapping these zones out, your zone is there, and then you've got a zone right there. So when you're looking at that zone, you've got a gap of around 177 pips that could go. So if I was swing trading this trade, then I wouldn't even be looking at the 30-minute. If I was swing trading this trade, I would look at the daily and say, come on, chart, move over. All right. So if I'm looking at the daily, I'm looking at that right there now. So I'm looking at that zone, which is obviously, 157 pips away. If we're looking into another area that it could bounce and have a rejection. But again, for me, anytime I see this, I also see this right there. And when we look at that right there, we've got wicks on top of the candles, which my TP is a little bit above it. Now, keep in mind, I will be watching this trade and check in on it, see what's going on with it, and say, oh, we're getting close to the TP. I'll go ahead and move it up. That TP is only there in the event that kids come downstairs. Hey, Dad, come tuck me to bed. Hey, Dad, come hang out with me. Or Hannah's like, hey, babe, come help me with something in the kitchen. I don't want to miss a wick. I don't want to miss a TP. So I keep it there. It's just a safeguard for me. At what point would you exit this trade if against you? I would not exit this trade against me because right now I'm protected. So if you can see right there, that is my stop loss that is protected above. So, I could take it and move it up right there. All right. So that point, if the trade comes back down and knocks me out, I made $132 off this trade and I can't lose this trade. So I'll exit this trade. If I notice that we get up close to, this 35,205 in this area, and we start doing this number and I start getting some big pushes and wicks against that, then I'll go ahead and just close out manually and I'll wait for tomorrow's session to trade. So what I was saying, Brad, was, actually I explained it in probably like 5 minutes. So I'll have you fast forward when this gets recorded and then go back over it. But I was basically saying I wasn't worried about the divergence in the 1 hour because I'm only trading the 30-minute and just looking for opportunity to make money. So it would be one of those things where it's like, if there's opportunity in a trade for me to make the money, then guess what? I'm going all in. I'm going to make the money in there. And just take advantage of the opportunity. So one thing that I'm big on, and you guys have heard me say this a few times, is I'm big on reacting to the charts. So the charts are always going to give us opportunity. It's just a matter of if we want to take that opportunity. And hold on one second here. I've got a couple of questions coming in that I want to be sure that I'm on top of. Let's see. I answered that one. All right, cool. And then let me get this on here real quick while I'm thinking about it. All right. The question come in. Sorry, guys, I was being bombarded with all kinds of stuff from other platforms. I always thought that your stop loss would be a couple of pips below your swing low marker. That is the case if we're not in profit. Once I get in profit, I move my stop loss above my entry. I hate losing trades. Who here hates losing trades? Raise your hand right here. This guy right here. All right. Why? And I will never understand this. Why in the world? Because I see it with so many traders. They'll be 500 pips in profit. Okay. Like say this is your screen. I've seen people, let's pretend like price is up here. Okay. That's your price. You got a candle that's just going nuts. All right. Just like that. Woo. All right. And their entry will be right here. Okay. And they'll have, do this real quick. So this is their entry right there. They'll have their dang stop loss down here. 144 pips from their entry. It's like, bro, you're in profit. Well, yeah, but if I move my stop loss up here, it's going to knock me out. All right. So you already know price is going to come back. Well, it may. So you're telling me that you would rather take this massive loss than just to move it up? Like, just take it and boom, now you're protected. So now you can't lose that trade. So now you could close half your profits if you wanted to, or you can go to sleep, or you can do whatever you want to without even having to worry about that trade because you can't lose it. Well, yeah, bro, but every time I do that, then it's this thing called stop loss, hunting. They stop hunt. They come down and get you. Well, who's they? The broker. Well, that means you're trading on the wrong broker. You should be with Carbon Capital FX because we're an A-book broker, and we're not going to stop loss hunt you. So you'll see that all the time. So that's why I protect. So I protect all my trades the moment it is in profit. I protect. Now, when I say the moment's in profit, you've got, if price is like 5 pips above and you protect, you're getting knocked out because you're going to get some movement. But as soon as this new 30-minute candle opened up right here, I had 0 drawdown in this trade. Then yeah, I'm protecting that entry. That way I cannot lose this trade. And Chris does make a good point in the chat. You can use the EA to trail your stop loss. And the EA actually it's just not a regular trailing stop loss. It's a pullback stop loss, meaning every time price, so if you're in this buy, every time price pulled back, you could say how many pips you want within that pullback. So if this pulled back, say down to here, and then shot back up, it would move your stop loss within 10 to 15 pips of that pullback. So that way, every time price is coming down and going up, it's moving your stop loss in that pullback zone, which is freaking amazing. So my big focus on trading is strictly protect capital. That's it. When you start, because that's one thing that a lot of people asked us. They said, we've been watching you and your son's account. We've been watching the way you trade, all this stuff that you've been doing. How in the world do you trade and not lose so many trades? Because we see your screenshots, we see all this stuff. It's like, because my only focus is protecting capital. That's it. If I'm in a trade and I'm even down $200-300, some people are like, well, you can hold that, it'll turn around. It's like, you know what though? I don't see this turning around. I'm going to react to the market because price technically, it just broke maybe a moving average. It just broke another trend. Then I'm going to take the opposite direction. I close that trade, get in the trade the other direction because I want to protect that capital. Let's see. Omar says, so to get in this trade, you saw the swing low at a major trend line, but what about the actual entry? So the actual entry for me here was just strictly on I was looking at this wick over here, this wick, these candles, and then I just will fill it in like so, just like that right there. So that way, well, it went down. Come on, little guy. Right there like that. Well, it keeps going down, but well, that's not good, Andy. Hold a second. Delete this box and I'll show you. So basically, I was looking at this candle here where we got the swing low marker on, and then just that wick, and I just filled up the space between here to that candle. Reason being I did that, I saw a wick that we had here, and I was like, you know what? That's 3 crucial areas that we've came to kind of in the center. So that's where I'm just going to push buy, and that's where I pushed buy. I'm a big person on just push the button. We second guess ourselves so much, and we're like, well, I don't know if we should be in a buy right now. I don't know if we should be in a sell. It's like, what's the chart telling you? What was the chart telling you? That's it. What was all your confluences on this one? My only confluence on this one was I had a swing low marker, and I knew that we had a zone right here it had to break from. That was it. I'm trigger happy. I just push the button. If I second guess myself, I have found that I'll second guess myself, miss this entry, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, I entered right here, and now I'm not as tight. Which, I mean, if you're a trend line person, then I mean, you got your trend right there. Boom. You got wick, candle, wick, broke trend right there. So if you're a trend line person, which I am, but I wasn't looking at it, you could have got in a tad bit earlier right there too. So not bad. How do you come up with your position sizes? So that's what I was talking about earlier. One in the morning, I'm just trading $75 to $80 per pip. And then throughout the day, if I've had a good winning day and or I'm taking trades later in the day, it's just $20 per pip. And the way that I calculated that was I found that in the morning, there's a lot of volume. So if I can get a push of 30 to 40 pips and I'm trading, let's say I get a push of 40 pips at $80 per pip, then I'm making 42, I mean, 30, sorry, at $80 per pip, 40 pips, I made $3,200. If I'm trying to trade that in the evening, you get a little of this, you get a little bit of this movement sideways, up and down, up and down. And then that messes with my head. It messes with my head seeing, oh crap, I'm in profit. No, I'm not. I'm in profit. No, I'm not. I like these pushes. And these big pushes right here that you see are market opens. So as long as you've got an idea of where you're going on market open, you're golden. You can get that push. So I can use that bigger lot size. And then throughout the day, if I enter the trade at, $20 per pip, and let's say I'm in drawdown of, $500 to $1,000, I'm not too worried about it, because the way that we've traded this account is our average risk is around 2.5% to 5% per trade. So if you're looking at, a 5% risk on this account right now, that's $2,500. Well, if I'm only trading $20 per pip, that allows me to have a stop loss at 125 pips, which is a pretty large zone for US 30 in the evening. Let's see. I'm extremely fresh to all of this. Are the dots you call the swing? Yes, the dots are the swing high, swing low markers on MT5, and they're part of a template. So if you are on my Discord, I've uploaded it in the announcement section. It'll be labeled Andy US 1M template. Seems to me those big pushes happen around 9:30. They do. So they happen around 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. That's when the market opens. But I tell people, go ahead and have your position and everything mapped out around an hour, at least an hour and a half to 2 hours prior to the market open. Because if you're trying to get that entry right when the market opens, then you could really screw yourself up. Because obviously at that point in time, we see sometimes 80 pips this way and 80 pips that way. So I've seen people put buy stops and sell stops like this, and then it hits both of them, and now they're like, well, crap, I'm hedged. So what do I do? It's like, can't help you there. Hold on one second, let me adjust this. All right, there we go. Now you guys can see more of my baldness. Can you go over the pip view on your mouse? Yeah, most definitely. So when I right click, so let's say we're going to measure the pips out from this entry on US 30, and we go up, what we see 4 bars. So 4 bars is 4 candles. And since we're trading the 30-minute, that's 2 hours. It's going to give you the price that we're at, which is 35,146. And then you're going to see the points. So with US 30, you're going to deduct 3 digits from it. So at 53,267 points, we're up 53 pips is what we are on that one. And you have to use a non-Mac computer to utilize the templates. I mean, there have been people that have found ways to utilize the templates on a Mac. There's workarounds, but I don't fool with it. I'm one of those people that's very, cut and straight to the point. Like for example, and I love using this. Let's say you're building, a house or whatever you're building. I go into Home Depot. I don't say, all right, how can I do this and just make it work? I'll walk and say, what's the most efficient way for me to do this? What's going to be the best way and save me the least troubles? And they're like, well, you need A, B, C, D. And then if you're doing another way, they're like, well, you could do this and you could do this, but then you've got to do this. And you might have to cut some, edges in the corner of this to make this fit here. It's like, just give it to me. Just give me what works. So for me, PCs just work, especially the Surface Pro. So I've got the Surface Pro laptop. I have ran this laptop with up to 28 pairs with an EA running on it on all 27 plus pairs while doing a Zoom, while watching TradingView, and the laptop has never failed me. I love the way it feels. I love the way it looks. It's got touch screen if I need touch screen. The battery life is great. I've not had it fail me. And as of right now, I think there's out of the PIP lab where people come and trade, there's probably a dozen to 2 dozen people in there utilizing the same thing. So it just works. Now you can use a Mac. You can use all sorts of other computers as well. I'm just not big on doing workarounds. And I'll tell you why. A really, really good friend of mine, when I first started trading the Forex industry back in 2019, is that right? Yeah, 2019. Watching him trade on a Mac. And he's in a buy on gold. And he is like so excited. Everything's going perfect. He's about to win the biggest trade of his life. And I'm sitting over there. I'm like, bro, you're in buys? And he was like, yeah, man, smoking it. And I'm like, No, it's bro, price just fell, like the bottom fell out of it. No, bro, look. And then he realized, keep in mind, we're on the same broker. He's like, my screen's not. I was like, yeah, bro, something's wrong with your computer. And the software that he had for the MT4 didn't link right. Something happened with it. It paused. There was a disconnecting issue with the server. And after that, I was like, nope, I want no part of it. If I lose a trade because of a server disconnecting or a poor service or poor internet, I at least want to know I've done everything I can. So like at the house, I got the fastest internet I can get. I've got the best laptop that I can get for trading, in my opinion. I've got battery backup. I've got 2 phones here for in case I need connectivity to jump on them. I'm ready. Like I want to be sure I've got all my tools prepared. So, that's just my opinion. Can you send me the Discord? Yeah, I'll throw the Discord chat actually in here for you guys. So just hold on 1 second and I'll copy it in here and let you guys come and play. Boom. All right, there we go. And let's see here. Read this. Got a lot of questions. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Can you send me? Yep, just sent the Discord chat the link. Will you be live tomorrow morning? Probably not. If I am, Discord is going to be the best place to find me, and or the free Telegram that I have with everybody, because it depends on. This sounds corny or whatever. Depends on what the wife wants to do. Wednesdays is kind of our day to do whatever we want to do. So there's some Wednesdays we wake up early and, I'm drinking coffee. I'm on the charts. We're trading. And there's some Wednesdays that we wake up and I look over and I'm like, damn, she's hot. I'm just going to stay here in bed with her. So depends on what my Wednesday mornings look like, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm picking my wife any day over the charts. She looks much better than they do. Let's see. What minimum capital would you recommend for US 30? Do you still do TDA and then focus on the 30 minutes? So here's the thing with US 30, I hate the 30 minute. I absolutely despise it and hate it. However, my 7-year-old son has taught me to love it, just because it's so clean. There's less candles you're worrying about. And then, even stuff like this, where you've got that swing low, your next point of structure is going to be right there. And when you hit that, it's not bad. Like I said, you entered the trade right here and you had drawdown and it sucked for 37 minutes, but your stop loss was right there. Stop loss was 110 pips away. And then bam, you smoke that trade. Whereas when you look at it on the 1 minute, which today's 1 minute was just clean cut and dry. There was no ifs, ands, or buts. But normally on the 1 minute, you've still got all this movement and then it falls. So with this, I'm learning to really enjoy this. Especially when you have those swing highs like that and you can just fill that wick in. So when you guys hear me say fill the wick, I'm just filling in the space between the swing high marker and the wick to the body of the candle. And now that's your stop loss. So, technically you could hit sell right here and that's your stop loss. If you wanted to hit sell right here, breaking out of that is your stop loss. So it's not bad. So don't use your 1 minute chart for the 30 minutes. No, I don't. I use 30 minutes. I trade what chart I'm looking at. I have found, and keep in mind, I'm not the best trader. There are traders out there that smoke me any day of the week. But for me, I'm more of a simplistic type guy. What makes the easiest, what makes the most sense to me? When I sit here and I'm looking at the daily, so I can look at this daily and I could tell you right now that we're going to fall. Like, right there is your trend. If you're doing it just like that right there and you're trying to catch, that wick from this wick, and you're looking at some bounces. You can always say you're going to fall. You're in some drawdown right there massively. Okay, well, what happens when we do this? Watch this. Now we're going to find our structure there. Swing low, didn't catch the candle all the way up, caught the wick, and then caught all the little candles there. You could say, yeah, on the daily, we're going to fall. Okay, where are you going to take your daily entry at? Well, hold on a second. Let me look at the 4 hour. There's my 4 hour. Let me look at the 1 hour. All right, well, there's the 1 hour. Okay, as you can see, as we start even looking at this on 30 minute, you could have entered a sell here, but then you'd have been in drawdown. You could have entered a sell here, you'd have been in drawdown. you could have entered a sell here. You'd have still been in drawdown a little bit. So for me, it's like whatever time frame you're trading is just what you take. Because if you're trading the 30-minute, then your move was right there. And you had a few pips of drawdown. If you were trading the 1 hour, then your move was right there. And as soon as the new hour opened, you were in that trade. You had no drawdown. If you're trading the 4 hour, well, there's your swing lows right there. So once you get those swing lows connected, you didn't even get to take that trade on the swing lows if you're connecting them. If you were doing structure, that's the best structure you got right there. And you had a little bit of drawdown, not much. So again, whenever I trade, I'm just trading whatever time frame I'm looking at that I like the structure. So like I said, 1 minute is what I've always done. However, my son is teaching me to really appreciate the 30-minute. But there's no reason to jump around and bounce around and look at this. And because here's what people forget. Watch this. This is really cool. If we're looking at this daily and we're saying we're going to take this on a trend line break, okay? We're going to take that on a trend line break right here. All right. So there it is. So where's our entry at? All right. Well, our entry is going to be right there. That's where it broke, right? All right. So it broke at 35,306. So that's where you're going to take your entry. Well, what about if we would have taken it on the 1 minute? So when we zoom out, right there's your entry that you took on the daily. You could have been later. You could have been earlier because remember that within that daily candle, you've got 24 hours. If you're taking this trade on the 1 minute, you didn't even have to wait for anything. You drew your structure up, bam, you took it. If you took it on the 30-minute, you were late to it. Right there, it could have been. So again, trade whatever time frame you like in the structure you see. Whatever looks the best for you, trade it. Because as you can see, your entries are almost the same no matter what time frame you're trading. It's just a matter of when you're going to push the button. That's it. Let's see here. So that's Kurt asking about the body to body or wick to wick. It's a misconception that you have to have any of them. You know, I find structure, whatever looks the best, charts or a picture. So when you look at a picture, just say what looks the best. Honest to God, if you want to trade that right there, to me, that looks pretty. I love those trend lines when I can connect dot to dot and get a break. It's beautiful. If you want to trade wicks and you're doing wick to wick, then you've got 2 touches right there. That's a solid trend line. If you're trading candle structure, you've only got 2 candles that you can go off of right there, because this right here, if you take that and do that number right here, there's no trend line there. That could be argued a trend line, but you still only got 3 touches. So it's whatever looks pretty to you. It's a painting. And no trade ever happens and you're like, that's a nasty trade. Like this right here, that was not a nasty trade. It was a beautiful trade. So the cleaner you've got your trend line, the cleaner that trade's going to be. Could you go over a couple of the Forex pairs? You know, the usuals, EN, GU, executive. Also, once you've gone through with US 30, I mean, yeah, we can look. I mean, we can go and look at them right now because there's nothing else to look at on US 30. So we'll look at EN right now. Let's see. So EN, so all other Forex pairs, I trade on the 1 hour. So if you're looking at EN, let's zoom out, make sure we haven't missed anything. Nope. All right. So EN, you've got your swing low marker there. We've got structure there. So for me, if you're looking for sells, that's your sell, a break of this trend line here. And if you're looking for buys, there's your dot. And we actually have 2 dots that we can connect. So, and that dot lines up right with those wicks and that. So, I mean, you're in a wedge right now. So, I mean, basically, if you're taking this trade, your buys are going to happen right about there. And your sells would happen right about there. So you can screenshot that if you want to. And then we will look at GU. GBPUSD. All right, so couple more little dots there. Let's see where this dot brings us. Oh yeah. So if you're looking for cells, that's it right there. Needs to break that zone with a clear break below that price. So you could put, that would be your cells. And if you're looking for buys, it's going to have to get on top of this trend line here, which would probably break above there. And then you'd at least push up into that zone. So you screenshot that one. Do a countdown. 3, 2, 1. All right. And let's see. You got to be your own Picasso all day, all day. Yeah. And here's the thing, like, and I say this all the time. Everyone's got their own way. There's people that use Fibonacci's. There's people who utilize, zones, MACDs, RSI, all kinds of stuff. I trade with what's easy. And that's why I started trading with my son and teaching him. And I've said forever, if you can teach a 7-year-old how to trade, then the methods that you're using are pretty simple. If I start breaking down MACDs, RSI, Fibonacci's, all these numbers and zones, it becomes complicated. There's no reason to complicate trading, in my opinion. Price goes up, price goes down. You have to be going the direction in which price is going. If price is going up, you need to be buying. If price is going down, you need to be selling. But Andy, that sounds so simple. It is. Who complicated it for you? Like, who truly complicated that for you? It's like saying, okay, if you turn right, you're going right. If you turn left, you're going left. But what happens if I turn right and that right turns into a left and circles me back around the block? You're complicating it. So by using the dots, and I know it sounds crazy, it maps out my zones. It almost goes hand in hand with how a Fibonacci is going to make itself work out. And it's worked. Like it has truly worked. It has been phenomenal. But going back to what I was going out with this is everyone has their own way of painting. Everyone has their own way of playing music. It's like building a house. There's people that can build an amazing house. There's people that can build truly amazing houses. Okay. But what do you want? This person wants a house built just to live in. This person wants a house to show off in. Okay. Well, this house over here is not going to cost them as much and they can get it done quicker. But this one over here is going to cost more. It's going to take them longer. Everyone has their own way of doing things, but both people still have a house. Both houses are still cool. It just depends on what you want. Depends on how complicated you want to make trading. Depends on how easy you want to make trading. But at the end of the game, as long as we're winning, we're winning. So you don't trade candle open on FX pairs. On FX pairs, I still trade candle open. But again, I teach candle close because until you are an experienced trader, everyone should trade candle close. What do you think BTC is going next? Well, it's funny you asked. Let me pull up my chart here. So Bitcoin, which if you've got the dots, you had some fun with BTC today. I'll show you why. So if we look at Bitcoin, which obviously you guys can see right now, I'm longing XRP. I wasn't even looking at Bitcoin. I was looking obviously at other pairs, but we had this marked up. But if you're utilizing the dots, trading the 1 hour, all you needed was structure. And that gave it to you about right there. That was your candle, your candle, your candle. I mean, you had a ton of touches, a wick right there. It broke, jumped up, and slammed down. You caught that entire move, every bit of it. If you're looking at the 30-minute, 30-minute actually got, 30-minute, you had this connect the dot here, which wasn't the best one. It gave you a zone. Even if you take that one there and connect the dots, you still got in a little late. But this dot to that dot up for structure, you caught that entire move just off dots. That was it. But let me share my screen for share. All right. So if we look here, go to my BTC. And this is one that I marked up publicly on Instagram. So on Bitcoin, trying to load my goodies. There we go. And reset chart. All right. So this zone here, the 52,465, I've had mapped out forever. When I say forever, it's been mapped out since we broke it over here on this break. And like everything that I tell you guys in the Forex, crypto, anything, anytime you have a break, that break becomes support and resistance almost every single time. So I was talking with Cody Kearns. Me and him were talking about charts left and right. That's when I posted this one up on social media. And I said, we've got to break the 52,465. If we break that, we're going to push up to the 54,457. And then sky's the limit once we break that. But until we break that price, we've got 1 day. If we do not break that on the daily, we're going to reject. And where we reject into, the next green line. And the next green line is right there, which was the 44,177. So it did go down further. You know, I said 44,177 and it went down to 42,696. But I don't think anyone's complaining, you know, about $2,000 being missed on that move. Now, perfect buy opportunity too. So anytime you have a massive push down like that, Bitcoin always recovers pretty quickly because there's so many people that are sitting on the sidelines ready to buy that back up. So where do I think Bitcoin's going to go? I actually was just talking to Cody about this. As long as we stay in between these red zones here, which is, you know, we got the 48,876 and the 45,843, golden. We want Bitcoin to stay in that range. Okay. Everyone's happy in that range. The alt market will be okay in that range. People will still buy in that range. If we start dropping down below that 45,843, then that's where your 44,154s and your 44,035s come into play. And then that's when the $30,000 range is right there on the cusp of it. If we push up out of that 488.76 range, then obviously we're back into play for the 52,465. So, I mean, basically we're just watching that little window there and hoping we can get out. The last time we got in this zone, it played out from August 13th all the way until August 31st. So it's very, very important for us to get in and out of that zone with Bitcoin there. And let me share. Go back to here. Oh, we keep our eyes on that trade to see how she goes. Let me look at the chat. Make sure we got. Let's see. Can you go over setting up a buy trend line and a sell trend line and saying that I'll have to do that, Kurt, on another video because I don't have the EA loaded on here. Since again, trading with my son, I'm not worried about showing him the EA at the moment. I just want him to be focused strictly on manually trading right now. So I don't even have that loaded on my computer. Since mapping out the zones and price action, you see things real clear. Yeah, most definitely. I mean, that's the thing is I tell people go into it with a plan. You know, as long as you're going into it with a plan, you know, make a trading journal. You know, for me, I've got a Remarkable. It literally stays on my desk. My notes, everything stay in here. And when I wake up, before I even turn on the computer and look at the chart, I come up with a trading plan. You know, there's sometimes I look at it and I'm like, okay, today I want it to be a big day. I'm going to enter with a large lot size. I want to catch a big move. If I do not catch a big move, I'm closing down the computer and I'm done with it. You know, and you're coming into it, you're mapping out your zones, you're figuring out where price, you know, could retrace to, where we may get a rejection, where we may get a push through. And once you have that plan mapped out, you've done everything you can do to win this trade. So at that point, if you lose the trade, it's no one's fault. You did everything you can possibly do to win that trade. So no more markups on TradingView. So yeah, TradingView is kind of my jam just because I love the way it looks. It's super pretty. But I realize that, you know, people don't trade on TradingView, especially if they trade with Carbon, which is the broker I use. We're on MT5. So what I'm going to start doing is, like, for example, watch this. This is pretty cool. So, you know, I got this GU trade that I mapped out. Well, actually, I like the EN one better. All right. So we got our EN here. I can go in here and choose template, and I can choose save template. When I choose save template, I can call this EN. I can just do EN and type save. Okay. Here's what's cool. Whenever you're on, which you've got to be on the same broker that I'm on for this to work, your chart's going to look like this. When I upload that file into Discord and you load it on here, you're able to go here and choose EN, and boom, it loads my markups for you on your chart. Simple as that. You don't have to draw lines. You don't have to do anything. it literally loads my markup on your chart for you. If that's not the easiest thing I've ever seen, I don't know what is. And I don't know many other people that have groups that do that. So just want to put that out there. Can you tell us more about your 4-week accelerated class? Yes, John, I'll be getting to that here shortly. I want to make sure I'm just answering all the questions. What prop firm do you recommend? Too many out there to choose from. Carbon Capital. Carbon Capital will actually have their funding program up extremely, extremely quick. And they are the only one that I would personally use. I mean, that's me. There's some other good ones out there. I've just not researched them. So for me, it's like, I like keeping my money home and knowing that Carbon Capital is like family to me. I mean, just the broker itself is a good broker. Customer service is always great. If you follow Austin Lewis, he just made $106,000 withdrawal today. He processed the withdrawal at like 328 and the money was in his account at 408. So, I mean, you're talking like 30 something minutes, $100,000, bam, like that. So no one's complaining about those speed of withdrawals by any means. Let's see. I asked because of where you said buys and sells would be coming out of that wedge. Let me see here, Joe, what'd you say? Yeah. So whenever they come out of that wedge, you would want to trade candle close, but I would trade candle open. Hey guys, did Andy confirm what he believes is a good capital figure? Yeah. So for me, he said, sorry, I was washing dishes. I mean, I've said this, you can trade US 30 with a $2,500 to a $3,500 account, trading $1 and running very tight stop losses. Because like with these moves here, you could have gotten in this and your stop loss would have been right there. So you would have risked $35 and you would currently be up $65. That's not bad. That's not bad at all. The problem is when people have a $2,500 account and they want to enter this trade at $10 a pip. Okay. So you've got a $1,000 account at $10 a pip and your stop loss is right there. So that means that's a $370 loss. So you just lost literally almost half of your account in one trade. So for the people who don't understand risk management, I say don't trade US 30 unless you've got a $50,000 account. But if you understand risk management and you're willing to trade $1 per pip with top stop losses, you can do it with a $2,500 account. You do anything wild with XRP? The Jesus Guy K, the Rogue Trader is insane with it. Man, I don't. Because again, this is the father-son account. So I'm keeping it pretty, I mean, I was on a podcast earlier with another trader and that's what we were talking about. And I was like, I'm pretty conservative with this. And he was like, bro, how could you be conservative with this? The account is sitting at, $55,000. And I was like, yeah, he was like, yeah, that's $47,000 worth of profit in 4 weeks. There's nothing conservative about that. I was like, yeah, but our trades have been conservative as far as our entries. If I was trading this account how I would trade and not trying to teach my son, then I mean, no telling where it would be right now. But so with XRP, we just entered, we were kind of late on these zones because if you look at the 1 minute on this and we zoom out, I mean, that 1 minute, it came down hard. And from the time it hit to here to our first entry was only 9 minutes. And we didn't have much time to react because we were making videos. So we just went ahead and got in buys right there, which again, if you're playing swing high, swing lows, and you just connected the dots right there, look how beautiful that was. Boom, there's your connect the dot. And you had tab bit drawdown and then she fell. So yeah, as is right now, I'm just in buys. I've got a TP set. So my TP is set. Where are my TPs set at? There's my stop loss. May not have my TPs on here. I thought I did. No, I don't have my TPs on there. Sure don't. I better fix that. So hold on 1 second. Thought we had TPs. Give me 1 second here. So I'd be looking back up to that zone right there. Boom. Boom. Make it look pretty. There you go. That way they're evenly spaced. I said, man, there's so many things, guys, that I do in here that is just such BS. It makes absolutely no sense, but it just works. I mean, it's some people take this thing way too serious. How you associate with Carbon Capital? Do you own a portion of it? I don't. I wish I did. That'd be amazing. So my association with Carbon is I help consult with them. So I mean, sometimes they'll say, "Hey, Andy, what do people want? You know, what are people looking for?" Because they know that I've got a decent following on Instagram and I've got some groups, and I'm like, well, they would like this type of spread. You know, I've heard people say that they would like this type of commission, you know, or they would like this, and they just work with me, and that's really it. I like the fact they're a book. They're completely transparent with everything that they do, which I freaking love. And on top of that, I'm an IB. So, you know, I'm an introducing broker. I mean, I have a little referral link. So people who want to, support and go on there can sign up underneath my referral link. And then I just get paid commissions off trades. And that's it. The BTC chart you pulled up was what I remembered from what you showed on Instagram. I mentioned to Cody. I just never saw a screenshot. So yeah, it was a fun one. I loved the BTC chart. No, the template won't give you the same account balance, but it is pretty sweet how you guys can load the charts like that. How do we move markups from Discord to MT5? So as soon as you'll just save it on your computer. So on Discord, it'll be a link and you'll just choose save file as. And then when you come on here, wherever you've saved the file, you would come to templates and you would choose load template. And then wherever you save that file is what you would load in there. And that's all you would do. Just checking, is your TP at 220 because that's the top of the wick? Do the moving averages play any part? So yeah, I just go to, are you talking about my 220 for right here? I just like this 220 zone because of that wick. I just really like it. And if we look at, the higher time frame on there, it was kind of an area of resistance. So I don't know, I like it. It looks good. Again, I'd love to sound smart about it, but I'd say 90% of the stuff I do on the charts is just because the way I love the way it looks. When you say $1 lot for US 30, you mean, yeah, so 0.01 is $1 per pip on US 30. Can you explain how we can pay ourselves with checks, withdrawals? So yeah, I've got an actual video. Let's do this. Someone real quick in Discord, tag me in the general discussion area and put post video with Nick and Andy. And I'm going to post a full 2-hour video explaining all that. Someone just go tag me real quick so I'll remember in Discord. Didn't you get an XRP very, very early and flip it to BC? Yes. So my largest, I mean, it's kind of my claim to fame. Where I live, I've got people, people got me birthday cakes with XRP. People were showing up at my house with t-shirts. One guy spray painted our yard, XRP. All kinds of stuff. So I bought 10 Bitcoin of XRP when it was 0.008. So not even a tenth of a cent. It was, almost a penny, but not necessarily there. And I bought 10 Bitcoin worth. Let's see. Seems you have to take much larger. Yes. So on XRP right now, with the lot sizes that I'm on, which is 5 standards, I'm literally going to make, probably $200 to $300 on that trade as it creeps up. Nothing crazy. Andy, you helped me put my son to sleep the past 2 nights. I've got that daddy voice. Wait, that didn't sound right. I can hear my wife laughing in the other room. Yeah, it didn't sound right at all. I shouldn't say that. Call me daddy. Can you look at AU on the 4-hour? Yeah, most definitely. Let's look at AU. Try window. So if we're looking at AU on the 1-hour, we've got, so if you're looking at a trend line with the dots for swing high, and let's say you got in on a trend line break that looked something in this area here, then that would be the trend that you'd have for the retest right there, from there to there on the 1-hour. For me, I'm a sell guy. I just love sells. I just freaking love them. Right there's a perfect buy opportunity, by the way. That swing high when you got that swing low, look how clean that sucker broke. It broke. You had drawdown of nothing, 15 pips, and shot up to 151 pips. But if I'm looking at this for sells, then again, I'm looking at that right there. A clear one move up here, a clear break of that. Clear break of that line, I'm taking sells. If you want to take buys and you're not in buys, I would look at this zone right there where those candles are. And price would need to get on top of this as well as that 50 moving average. And then I'd ride it up to there. TP would be set right there is what I'd be looking for. In a good way. Awesome. For Tough Wars question about paying himself with a check, wouldn't the correct answer be setting up LLC? Well, there's a little bit more when you're talking about paying yourself. There's a little bit more going into it than just setting up an LLC and then depositing those funds in that LLC to then turn around and pay yourself, because you can still get taxed on the LLC and then you can still get taxed on paying yourself. So we go into a full video of how you're able to set up this LLC and then how you're creating another business that LLC is supporting of how they're paying you. So good question. I mean, good answer to that though. Got it. Thanks for the transparency. You're very welcome. Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm here for. That's why I love trading with you guys live and going here and answer as many questions as I can. How do I join the Discord? I'm like I said, it's y'all's lucky night. Just posted the link right there for you. Let's see. What are the questions I got? Speaking of LLCs and paying yourself, just a reminder, shout out to me. Yep. The 4 hour. Oh, sorry, you said 4 hour. 4 hours still looking the same for me. It still needs to break that 0.74068. And even then, when you're on the 4 hour, you've got that zone right there. So on the 4 hour, that would be TP. So you got TP1. So you got TP1 and TP2. And then obviously you got TP3. Boom. And you'll notice that TP3 lines up perfectly with the swing low marker right there. So break, take the trade at 0.74, right up to 0.74762. What is your favorite fiat pair? US30. Odd USD. I traded Odd USD for a long time next to my buddy Lucas Havlik, who's an amazing trader. So if you guys if you trade Odd USD, follow the dude on Instagram. It's King Lucas Havlik. You can find him on my page. I actually tagged him in his post of Hex yesterday, and it's in the Discord. But yeah, time frame. Time frame for me, man, is going to be 1 hour on everything across the board except for US30. US30 is going to be 30 minutes to 1 minute is kind of my deal with them. If I'm looking at breaks like this, I'm trading the 1 hour. When I get back into where I'm trading my own account, which I've taken almost 5 months off from my own account, where I'm a swing trader, I trade only daily markups. That's it. It's strictly, that's why when we looked at my trading view, it was on the D because I traded daily. God, I'm horrible. Give me 1 second here. Let's see what we've got going on here. All right. So let's see here. But yeah, daily guy all day from my own personal account. But it's a lot larger account, so I hold a lot of drawdown in that one. I mean, I've been in drawdown $20,000 to $30,000 in that account because I do swing trades on it. So almost an hour into this, I think, yeah, XAU, good point. XAU is 5 minutes and 15, but I've completely Hunter wiped that one off just because I'm not even looking at gold right now. It's not I went in, I won some gold trades, and after winning the gold trades, the last one, I barely won. It was when we had that massive fallout, I was in buys. And I literally, when I say it was almost a perfect, I literally closed out my buys probably 2 minutes before that fall. And if I wouldn't have closed out my buys before that fall, I would have lost probably 60 to 70K on that trade. And after that, I was like, you know what? This is not my cup of mojo. I'm not dealing with this. So I went ahead and dipped out and said, I'm not even looking at it. So I don't even keep it loaded on the charts. Nothing. I don't look at it. When you swing trade, you analyze on the D and then, nope. Yep. Swing trade. I analyze on the D. And I take the trade on the D. Don't tell me there's no one else that's laughing about that. I'm sorry. I know that's not very adultish of me, but I can't help myself. And I have not even drank anything. I'm drinking coffee of all things. So y'all go ahead and laugh, man. That's what we do here. We have fun. We have fun on these Zoom calls. And that's what trading's supposed to be. Yeah, I was actually supposed to FaceTime Anthony earlier. But he's been busy. I've been busy, so I wasn't able to get him on there. Let's FaceTime him real quick. Let's see if we can get him on here. Watch this. FaceTime Anthony Williams. I hope he doesn't answer my phone naked, because if he does, I'm showing the world. Let's see what he does. Let's see if he answers. What's up? I'm on a Zoom. Say hey to everybody.
I'm sick. What's up, everybody?
Bro, you do not sound good at all.
Dude, like, I mean, I'm actually, I don't feel bad. I just got really bad sinus right now. I can't breathe.
Did you? What's up, Gerald?
I got the Delta variant.
The Delta variant of 7-figure loss. That's the only reason I FaceTime you, because everyone on here was like, bro, we saw where Anthony Williams took a 7-figure loss. And I was like, I'm going to FaceTime, make sure he's okay.
I ain't gonna lie, that shit hit me, bro.
So what are you buying? What are you buying tomorrow then, since you had the big loss?
I don't know, bro. It was some dumb shit, bro. Like, it was so dumb, bro. Tell me how I'm gonna like in my sleep somehow. There's apparently on MetaTrader 4 on the phone, there's a button that you can click that closed all positions of a certain pair. Bro, in my sleep, I stacked somehow. It was like 18,000 standards and closed them in 20 minutes at a massive loss, bro. It was pissed, bro. I woke up and I looked at my account and I was like, wait, this ain't this account. And shit, sure enough, bro, motherfucking, I was pissed, bro.
Well, y'all heard it first here from Anthony Williams. Not trading. You know what you're gonna have to do? You're gonna have to.
If anyone can actually guess the loss, tell me what they guess. I'll give them $1,000.
All right, so you guys start.
They can guess the loss.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. Don't post it in the chat, because the chat will be gone when this is over. Send me a message personally on Instagram with how much you think Anthony Williams lost on his trade. And if someone gets it right, he's going to give you $1,000.
I got a screenshot to show it.
Yep. And he's got a screenshot to prove it. Do they have to have all the numbers right, or just like at least 1,000,003 something?
Within 100 grand at least.
All right. Within 100 grand. So if you're within 100 grand, oh, y'all making some good stuff.
Right.
I love it. So y'all send that message on Instagram. Anthony, I'll let you get back to your family. Tell everybody I said, hey, and I love them, and I'll hit you up later.
All
right, man. Be good. Right. All right. So there we go. Guest appearance from Anthony Williams. So you guys remember, it was a 7-figure loss. So go ahead and send me a message directly to Instagram, and whoever's the closest within 100, remember, it's got to be within $100,000. Now, whoever's closest within $100,000 of it will get $1,000 from Anthony Williams, which will be pretty cool. So, wow, fun times. All right. So like I said, throw it to me on Instagram. Don't post it here, because when this is over, I can't keep up with the chat. So send it to Instagram. Next up, because we've covered about everything we can cover with trading. At one point we had almost 90 people in here. We got 83, so that's pretty freaking awesome. Glad you guys came to hang out with me. I want to talk about the accelerated education that I'm doing. I've had a lot of people asking me about that. What's the details about it? How are we going to go about, the trading of it and all this stuff? So the specifics of it. It's going to be either towards the end. It'll either be the last week of September, or it will be the first week of October. It'll be 2 days a week. Currently looking at Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then it'll be at night time. So not Tom, probably do Tuesdays and Thursdays as well, or switch it up and do a Monday and Wednesday. But we'll have a morning session and a night session. And I'm not doing it to where one group will do nights and mornings. I mean, mornings and nights. It'll be, if you pick morning sessions, you're always on morning. If you pick night sessions, you're always on nights. And I've done that because there's a lot of people that can't do a morning session because they're at work. And then there's people who can't do a night session because obviously, they work at night or they're doing something, they're going to bed early, whatever the case may be. So I'm splitting it up to where I can accommodate to both of those people, the people that need to be morning or not. Now, as far as the times for the morning, I'm still mapping that out, but looking for the times to be around 9:30 to 11:30, 12 o'clock in the mornings. And then at nighttime, looking to be around 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock at night. That way it's after dinner, it allows you to kind of sit around and have that time to yourself for these classes. It will last for 4 weeks. It'll be very hands-on. So I'm only accepting 12 people for the morning session and 12 people for the night sessions. That's it. It will not be, it will not be extended. I will not be adding anyone to it. It will be strictly 12 and 12. And the reason that I'm saying it's going to be 12 is because it's going to be hands-on. Okay. It's going to be very hands-on, where when we go over things in the morning, everyone's going to be able to talk. Everyone's going to be able to chat. They're going to be able to ask questions. They're going to be able to truly treat this as you would a true education class. The reason that I said it's accelerated is because I'm covering everything from beginner all the way to everything to where I'm currently at. And I've put a ton of work into this. So far, I'm almost 4.5 weeks myself of creating the curriculum of this, how I'm going to teach it and everything. And when I say 4 weeks, I'm not talking about 4 weeks, a couple hours a week. I'm talking 4 weeks where I've sat down and racked my brain about, if I was a new trader, what would I want? If I was a new trader, what would I be looking for? And this takes you from, and I tell people, if you were already an experienced trader, so let's say on a scale from 1 to 10, okay, you're already a 5, this class is not for you. I will already put that out there. If on a scale from 1 to 10, you're already midway, this class is not for you. This class is strictly for people who are starting out, even never trading a day in their life, step 1, all the way to where I am. And I wanted to do this because I think so many times we get caught up in our own head because we've taken this class, we've taken that class, we've been over here, we've done this 3-day course, we've done a 5-day course, we've done all these courses, we've done all this studying, but yet we're not where we want to be. And I was like, this is almost like a reset, where when you come to this class, we are resetting you from the get-go and saying, what is a PIP? What's a PIP? We're going to explain what a PIP is. How do you stop losses and take profits? How to initiate trades on an MT5, how to manipulate your trades on MT5, how you close partials, how you leave runners. Then we're going to jump into market structure. What are we looking for swing lows, swing highs? Why are we mapping out this zone? What is a moving average? Why is the moving average, doing this? Well, why can't I use this moving average? What does it mean if we start? I'm going through it from start to finish. Now, with this, and I've said this a lot because as soon as I announced this on Instagram, I got blowed up and everyone's like, you better be doing this for free. If you're not doing it for free, you don't care about the community, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, yo, hold up. I have free Zooms all the time. I mean, even like tonight, I opened it up to everyone. I've got tons of videos on YouTube. I've done tons of local stuff. I've done everything. I've done everything I can physically do that way. But with this, I'm literally dedicating my time during the week for 4 weeks, and I'm creating the curriculum. It's not going to be free by any means, none. Now, for me, what I'm looking for is for people to enter this and come out and say, okay, now I understand what Andy's talking about on the charts. Now I can be profitable. Now I know what I'm looking for when I take these trades. If a person takes this accelerated learning class and they're part of our Discord group, and in a year from now, they're still in the same spot they're at, I can say that one of two things. One, I suck as a trader. I mean, I suck as a mentor. I suck as a coach, and you should never listen to anything I say. Go find someone else that's better. Two, trading is not your thing. I mean, at this point, and that's what I was telling everyone in the Discord the other day, I've put everything I have into this education class, every bit of it, to make sure that it works. Now, probably the number one question I get when I mention this is, Andy, what in the world is the cost on this course? For 2 days a week, we're going to have about 8 sessions, which I mean, and granted, some of these sessions may go over. I mean, it may be a 2.5 hour session. We may see, hey, we need an extra day. And that's why I said, it could be 4 weeks, it could be 6 weeks, because once we get in here, my goal is for everyone to leave and say, okay, I'm fully prepared to be a trader. I'm fully prepared to get on these charts and do what I need to do. Okay. So the way that I'm looking at it is we're looking roughly at $699 for the whole 4 weeks. For the whole 4 weeks, the 2 classes a day, night, morning class, everything, it's going to be right at $699. And I just come up with that number because one, it looks good on paper. Everyone else was like, bro, you should be charging like $1,200 for this thing, $2,500. There's people that charge $5,000. And I was like, look, I make money enough on trading, but I've got to make it to where I know that people are going to take this serious. Because the last time that I had a class where I charged $150 to come for it, I was in Charlotte. And I'm sitting there in a class with people and they're checking social media. I can see their glasses, they're scrolling. You see it in their glasses. They're just scrolling through social media. There's people posting on their Telegram chats and they're doing these things. I'm like, guys, you're not even paying attention to what I'm doing. And I don't have to be here. I want to be here for where people can get better at what they do and then live a good life. So if that's the case, I've got to charge more. Because if you charge more, you're going to be interested in it. You're going to be in tune. Well, and then that brought up the conversation. Well, Andy, if you're charging more, what about people who can't afford it? Here's the thing. If you're trading and you don't have the capital for, $250, $500 and all that, then I say build capital. Okay. You need to build more capital at that point because trading is not cheap by any means. It is expensive. But this one here, I believe will be all about it. It'll be good. And that's what I'm offering. So I'm starting it out with, if you're already part of the Pip Connect, if you're part of the communities and stuff that I have, you will be the first line that I open it up for that price, which is why I'm telling you guys here. If I don't fill it up at that point, then it hits social media. Once it hits social media, at that point in time, I'm raising it up then because like this is social media, it's Instagram, it's people I don't know, yada, yada, yada. And Florence did ask a good question. What if more than 12 people are interested? If more than 12 people are interested, as soon as this one comes open, I'll open up a second wave. Just give me like a 2-week break in between, and then I'll do another one. But it's really hard to keep it, close knit to where I'm able to come in and work, and I'm able to come in and work with these people hands-on. Because when you've got 20, 30 people in a class, if each person gets unmuted and talks for 5 minutes, that's 150 minutes. You literally just lost 2.5 hours letting people talk. So it's like this way with 12 people, it allows people to talk. It allows me to talk to them and really have fun with it. And, I'll be honest, man. And this is kind of something that I always relate to money in general. I tell people, look at how many times, we go out and get coffee or we go out to eat a good dinner that's $100 and that dinner makes us no money. If anything, it gives us gas, makes us feel bloated, and we regret that we even went to eat that meal the next day, or at least that's how I am when I go out to eat. So I tell people with this, I want everyone to treat it like it's a must-have thing for their trading. It's $87 for 2 hours of your time to sit here on a computer, and hopefully you come out and you're like, okay, I'm ready to rock and roll. I understand exactly what he's talking about when he says protect this entry. I understand exactly what he's talking about, when he says that we're looking at this zone of a break of the 50 MA or whatever it is. I want just the fully understanding from start to finish. And the reason that I say that it's accelerated is accelerated itself means I'm starting out at 0 and taking you to where I'm at currently now in 4 to 6 weeks. I've got to cover 4 to 6 weeks of information I've got to cover what I've done in 10 to 12 years in 4 to 6 weeks. And that's a lot. So I'm having to literally dig through journals that I wrote 10 years ago and say, where was I then? Where was my mindset? What was I looking for? And how can I implement this today? Because here's what ends up happening. If I try to mentor and tell you guys what I do on a daily basis right now, like today, and you mimic that, it's not going to get you where I am today. You have to mimic the things that I did 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago, 9 years ago. And there's not many people that are teaching that. They're teaching you the things that they do right now to be successful. But the things that they do now while they're successful stem from the things that they did back then to be successful. So I'm just having to go through there and run through all my journals. And it's like, okay, did I see something different in the beginning when I was trading stocks? Did I see something different in the beginning when I was trading crypto? How did I bring the stock and crypto over to the Forex side? What do people need to be focusing on? So it was just a lot of, digging through and coming up with it. And here we are. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And Nicholas, I just saw your message. Shoot me a message on Discord, please, privately, and then we can talk about that. So Jack G, which is my dude, Jack Goodlet. He owns a restaurant down in Fort Oglethorpe called Park Place. So if y'all are out that way, stop by and see him. He says, what about folks that are now a 4 or 5, but a hell of a long way from where you are? So if you're a 4 or 5, you're not much further than where I am, except for experience and time. And I say if you're a 4 or 5 that you don't need this. I say that because basically you would be coming in midway to where it'd be beneficial. So you'd be losing the first half where you already know what everything is. And you wouldn't need an accelerated learning class. You more or less just need like refreshers, maybe a 1-day refresher, a 2-day, maybe sitting in with me on a few live trades and just watching that type of stuff. I think is more beneficial. And that's why I say I say that because I just don't want people, throwing away money at something that I don't think is going to benefit them when they're a 4 or 5. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to tell you no, and I'm not going to tell you not to be part of it. I just feel that if you're a 4 or 5, that you're much closer than you think you are, just in due time, to be honest. Let's see here. Where do we message you if you're interested? You can message me on Discord, which is what I prefer because I'm able to keep up with everything on there right now at the moment. If you don't want to message me on Discord and you follow me on Instagram, just shoot me a message on Instagram in all caps and put education. Do not be like, hey, Andy, I was on a Zoom, like just one word, education, all caps. That way it stands out to me. I can flag it. And then once I flag it, I can keep up with it and keep you involved in anything that we do. The starting date for those classes, like I said, I'm looking to be either the end of September, which would start the week of the 27th, or I would kick that off the following month in October, which the first week would be October 4th. If you ever want to know mindset, yep. So I've already covered that. When are we meeting at the mansion? So yes, for those of you that are coming to the retreat that we have coming up next week, it starts Monday the 13th. So you'll show up there at the 13th at 5 p.m. And you're welcome, Jack. I mean, like I said, I want everyone to succeed, but also don't want people just throwing money out the window, because I've had some people that have been to every single course that I've offered, every class that I've offered, and they still don't get it. And it's like, look, at this point, it's not the information you're given. You're in your own head at this point. Like, you are in your own head. So take some time off, relax, don't spend the money, write down in your journal, watch your charts, just get to moving with it. Great. Thank you, Josh. But yeah, any more questions that you guys got? Where's the I plan on coming? So this retreat, Ken, that we're talking about is the one that we planned like 8 months ago. But I'll shoot you the information anyway, because I think you had a pending spot on the last one. So I got you on that, bro. Yeah, that's about it. I will shoot, like I said, Instagram, education, all caps, or shoot me a message on Discord. I'll keep everyone updated on what's happening, taking place, and every meeting that we do will be recorded. So it will be recorded. It will be open up to, I think, 4 to 7 days afterwards, so you can go back and watch it. But I don't send out copies. I don't do things like that, which I know people can still screen record and whatever. But I just hate for all of my, stuff just to be floating around the internet for, the whole world to see without anything invested, when you guys are having to invest your time and money into these programs. I did have one guy that said, what about if me and my wife both want to learn? Do we have to sign up for 2 spots? No. If you've got someone that lives in your house, or you and a buddy or roommates, and you both want to be on it, it's just one, man. I mean, like, it's just get 1 spot. Please don't buy 2 and then take up someone else's spot when you guys are both sitting there in front of the computer. So So yeah, one spot will be perfect. I mean, if you want to get one spot and invite 10 people over to your house and do a watch party, then do what you got to do. But I don't want to tie up all those spots. And like I said, I've had people do that. I was on a Zoom last week with a guy who booked me for 2 hours, and I'm thinking that I'm about to be booked for 2 hours to talk to this guy. And when the camera comes on, he's in a massive like conference like room that he got at a hotel, and there's probably like 50 people in there. And I'm like, yo, what is this? He's like, I booked you for 2 hours, man. And we got almost 50 people in here. And I'm like, holy cow. I didn't know this. I didn't know this was a thing. Well, here I am on a big screen. What's up, guys? So it was really cool. So, I mean, you guys can get as creative as you want when it comes into that stuff. So yeah, we'll look back at our US 30 trade real quick. It's kicking butt. I'm still keeping that for my TP unless I see it, start creeping up in here and I'm setting at the computer. Then I'll remove that TP and then manually watch it and just see what happens. But yeah, outside of that, man, like I said, I greatly appreciate you guys jumping on here. Hour and a half meeting cut into a Tuesday night. I know it's not always easy, especially when we do these things later. Hopefully you learned something from what we were looking at with the charts and, Bitcoin and just talking about things as a whole. And then Kurt, as far as when you could receive that video, you're fine about the all caps, man. I do it all the time. I would say at least a week and a half to 2 weeks out. And I say that only because we've got a big event next week that I'm part of. And then this week I've got two weddings that I'm dealing with. One I'm actually involved in. So just a lot of stuff going on. But for sure have that done hopefully within the next week and a half to 2 weeks. And yeah. And again, if there's any questions that you guys have, for sure, shoot me a message and we'll have some fun with it. And Doug, I greatly, greatly appreciate that. I am posting the Discord in here one more time. So this Discord link that I'm giving out, I said was going to be active for around 12 to 24 hours for people to get people on the Discord for free. So a lot of people that sign up for, our community are $19 a person. This is free. I'm going to leave it open for till tomorrow around noontime. So if you've got anyone that you want to send this link to that you think could benefit from, some of the Zooms that we do, some of the free information we pass around the community, people talk and do chart markups already on their own on there, then by all means, send that link out, get them on there. We'll have some fun. So appreciate all of you. This video will be uploaded with this one here being specific to everyone talking here. I will get it listed on YouTube and then send you guys the link. It will be unlisted, so it won't show up, but you guys will have the link to it. So hope everyone has an amazing night. Tim, love you, brother. Appreciate you as well. And you guys don't forget to send me the Instagram messages on how much you think Anthony Williams lost for some free money. And then don't forget to send me education in all caps if you guys want me to keep you up to date on it. So you'll have an amazing night. And if I jump on tomorrow to trade in the morning, then I will send a link to the Telegram and we'll kill it. So you'll have a great night. We'll talk to y'all soon.